I'll just register support for the comments that Mr. Brooks and Mr. Kilmer made with regards to some concern about the Launch Complex 39A decision-making process. And I'd register that I actually think it would be in our interest to have that as a multi-user facility. My line of questioning is actually going to be a little bit different, based off of Mr. Martin's opening testimony and based off of my vast congressional experience of 9 months on this committee. It seems as though we've gone through several missions just in that 9 months. When I first got here, it seemed like the mission was we were going to look for manned space travel to Mars, and we were going to go towards that. We talked about asteroid retrieval. Then there was a shift to a mission to the moon. And I think you were very clear in your testimony that the first step we have to do is actually come up with a strategic plan, that we actually have to have a mission and a roadmap. And I think this committee has made that recommendation, because if you don't have that long-term plan, if you don't have that roadmap, and how are you going to make the decisions on what facilities to keep, what facilities not to keep, what to decommission, what the best process is? I would love to hear your thoughts on that, either one of you. But again, I think that is the critical issue here, how you get NASA, the administration, and Congress on the same page to come up with a single mission in a single time frame, and then we can make decisions. If we want to go to Mars, is the best step to go to the moon? Is the best step to do asteroid retrieval? So we need that clarity of mission. Would you guys agree?
Yes, Congressman, I would certainly agree that the more definitive your technical roadmap for your mission requirements, the more you can tailor and optimize the limited resources you have to invest, especially in these large cost items that Mr. Martin mentioned. So that would help. I would say also that NASA agrees that we can also do better just in the situation we are in, as pointed out in the Inspector General's report, to do a better job within our existing authorities and our existing situation to dispose of our excess infrastructure as well.
Mr. Martin, would you agree with that?
Well, as an Office of Inspector General, we're not permitted to have any original thoughts or opinions. We're not management. We just come behind management after they've made a decision and criticize that decision.
Let me change the question. Would you agree lack of mission clarity makes it much harder to make some of these decisions on what assets to keep and what assets not to keep?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And if I could, beyond the human exploration, the scientific mission, which is obviously a massive component of what NASA does, the thermal vacuum chambers and a lot of the big ticket, the wind tunnels, the very expensive infrastructure that NASA has, you need to have a map.
Great. So my challenge to this body, my challenge to the administration, my challenge to NASA's leadership is that we need to lock ourselves in a room, we need to agree on a mission, and we need to agree on a time frame by which we hope to accomplish that mission, similar to President Kennedy giving us a challenge in the 1960s to give us clarity. Because how can you make decisions, how can you look at assets without knowing where we want to head? So that's not a question, that's just a rhetorical comment. The other thing, Mr. Martin, in your testimony was the decision-making process. NASA, as a large organization, has to make central decisions. Each facility can't make their own decision in their silo because they're based on the interest of that particular facility. Again, we're in times of tight budgets, and we have to have a better decision-making process. So, again, that's not a question, it's just a comment. But the decision-making process is going to get more complicated as well, because we're seeing this shift from a largely public government agency to one that is becoming a public-private partnership. And that adds just another dimension of complexity. So again, not a question, but just an observation. I will make one final comment. Again, I hope this body, this committee, the administration, and NASA's leadership can come to an agreement on what our mission is, what our time frame is, and then just agree and let's start moving forward and let's go forth and accomplish that mission. Mr. Chairman, I'll yield back.